I wrote this song for my children because at the time I had one child, now I have two. I have a little girl named Ruby. Ruby is from India, and Ruby is what it was kind of the catalyst to the whole reason why you're here. Is because my wife and I, we started an adoption process a couple of years ago, and in February we were able to go get our little girl, but kind of in the middle of that process we decided, like, you know, we need to go to India. We need to go check this out. And so we did. We went on a mission trip to India with Open Door Church in Burleson, an incredible place. Pastor Troy Brewer is an amazing guy. And we went over there, and India changed my life because I stayed in an orphanage for 10 days. And you know, little girls would tap on your door at 6:30 in the morning and come in, give you a hug, and tell you they love you. And they have no reason to do that. They just love you unconditionally, because many of these girls had been rescued from brothels, had been taken out of, you know, where they were forced to be prostitutes. Some of them, you know, were 10 years old. And they'd been in the orphanage for a couple of years already. So they give you an idea of what happens over there. And so, you know, looking in the eyes of these little girls and seeing what the love of Jesus did to these women and to these young ladies, it transformed their lives. And so that changed me as a person. And so, you know, I'm not a religious person by any means, but I love Jesus. And because Jesus is real. It's real. And some of you, you know, you may argue that, but you haven't seen what I've seen. And you haven't been where I've been. And I urge you to come with me. That's what I want you to do. That's part of why we're doing what we're doing, is because we want to take people with us. And we want to show people what truth and what faith and action does. It changes people's lives. It changed my life forever. And I'll never be the same because of that one trip. And so this is maybe about a month ago, 2 months ago now, my wife and I are laying in bed, and I'm watching this video of this guy who is a missionary, and he's over in India, and he's playing a violin and amongst all these kids. And I said, we need to do this. And my wife was like, yeah, we should just start an orphanage. And then like 2 weeks later, we went on a trip to Houston. We were driving back from Houston, and she said, hey, Ernest over in Hyderabad, he's going to help us do the orphanage. So we're going to go over on September 20th, and we're going to start this. And I was like, we're doing an orphanage. Like, we didn't waste any time. Because that's my wife. My wife's an amazing woman. She doesn't waste any time. She sees something. If God says go, she just goes. So that's what we do. And so now, you know, the purpose of our trip is we're going to go over the first, you know, this is kind of phase 1 of the trip, and we're going to go over into this village that's about 2 hours outside of Hyderabad, which is a major city. And so I'm telling you this because you paid to get in here, and this is why you paid to get in here. And all this money on stage, I don't care about being famous. It's the least of, and it doesn't matter, okay? In truth, life is a vapor. The Bible says it's a vapor. It's like this. Here one day, gone the next. It's gone. So this doesn't really matter if there's no purpose behind it. Because if the purpose is to glorify the person on stage, then you're wasting your time and they're wasting theirs. But this is about something more. This is about children and kids and people in another country that have no hope. Because where they live, they're in an area they're called the untouchables. Okay? And in India they have a caste system, and they're the lowest of the low. It's beyond racism. Racism says I hate you because of who you are. The caste system says you don't exist because of who you are. It's beyond I hate you. It's you're not even worth looking at. And they just walk over people as they lay there and starve to death. Yes, this is truth. So you say what? It's the truth. And so that's what I've seen. And so we're going back over there to go get, you know, our vision is for 10 girls. And we're going to go out into this village where no one is, you know, you may hug somebody in a village like this that has never had a hug in their life. Someone who has leprosy and no one has ever touched them their entire life. And you hold that person's hand, you look them in the eye, and you tell them that you love them, and it changes those people. And not only does it change them, it changes you. It changes you. And so anyway, We're going to go and we're going to put a water well in this village because they have no running water. And we're going to go and we're going to get 10 girls out of this village that have no hope for an education, they will live there and they will die there, and that's it. And that's just the way it is. And so we're going to go get these girls and we're going to build them a home, and we're going to put them in this place so they can get an education. We're going to teach them a trade, and then there's going to be more. There's going to be more, and there's going to be more, and there's going to be more. And so, you know, I don't have to, I can't like retire. I don't even know why anybody even says that. I mean, you don't quit playing music. Music is in you. It's a part of who I am. So I always play music. But right now it's for these girls, and I believe it, for the rest of my life it'll be to fund the Hope Home in Hyderabad, and then we're going to have a Hope Home in Uganda, and then we're going to have a Hope Home in Honduras, and we're going to have a Hope Home in Houston, Texas, because Houston, Texas is the hub for sex trade in the United States. And if you don't know anything about that, Google it. Just Google sex trafficking and see what comes up, and you'll be astounded. So anyway, this is for my kids, and for those kids, because now, you know, I've had the opportunity now to have kids from all over the world come to Papa, and that changes your life. So when I'm gone, how will you remember me? Will my faults or my finest hour be in your memory? Will you sing the praises of my life? Say I was honored to call him my father. What a joy to be his wife. That's all that matters to me now. That's all that matters to me now. That's all I hope for. Footsteps of my past.